So is any addiction that came up out of, those
Tons.
towns? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So I think in the journey of not knowing who I was,
Yeah.
not having really low self-esteem, I was chasing the dopamine. I needed the dopamine high. And I got that being in bars with my friends and, on stage. And I was just constantly looking for the rebellion.
I want to make like a small distinction. When we talk about dopamine and fulfillment, which is two different things, but it can be very much confusing sometimes. When you're like on a stage, you explain feeling like in a flow, and the flow state, to me anyway, I feel like being in a flow, it's fulfillment. And then substances or whatever it might be, addiction, it's more like dopamine.
Yes.
Do you feel the difference?
100%.
It's a big
And now
difference.
that I'm not drinking at the moment. I don't like to say I'm sober, but I definitely don't drink.
You don't need it anymore.
I don't need it anymore. But for a while I needed it a lot. And I realized I was drinking every night, oftentimes by myself. And then when you're working the long hours, obviously you don't drink. And then the days that you're off, you're like, it's 9:00 in the morning. I don't have anything to do today. I'm going to go and drink mimosas and I'll go have some cocktails with my friends and whatnot. And
Was that happening while you were like as a chef more than anything else? When you started to actually because you put that on the side for a while, right?
Yeah.
Acting. Did you actually started to drink because you missed, being on stage or being an actor? Or
No,
what
not
was it like?
necessarily.
It's just like, I just want to...
When I was more doing stand-up and like waitressing and stuff and not really having to really show up the next day,
Okay.
that was like my peak party days.
Okay.
And it was also the peak party time in Los Angeles. It was just one giant party. And because I worked in an industry where you worked late nights, you would party all night and sleep a few hours during the day and just keep going. And then when I started cooking and I actually had to run a business and things like that, obviously my party days were limited.
I hear you. So it was
But
more
I had a good time for a lot of years. I don't remember a lot of those years, but I just remember I had a nice time.
You don't remember them because
Yeah.
it was like, oh.
Yeah. I think when I got in my relationship with Nick, it was really kind of a mirror. He's like, you're drinking every night. I go, yeah, but I'm having like one margarita. He goes, but why? Why are you drinking every night? I go, why not? I think as I started to get healthier and working out more and prioritizing my health and, overall mental health, I would be up all night with anxiety. We would be laying next to each other, and he said I would just be short of breath in my sleep and up and down all night. And he goes, I really think it's the drinking. And I go, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a doctor. You don't know what you're talking about. And he said, why don't you just try like a month without it? And I did. He's like, do you notice you're not having anxiety attacks anymore? And I go, yeah, but that's because something else. And then I realized like this was a big culprit in my life that was causing a lot of unhappiness, and I wasn't going to reach whatever thing that I was searching for or looking for while drinking. So I just decided, all right, I don't do this anymore. Then I went from maybe drinking 1 or 2 cocktails a month on special occasions, a really good glass of wine with a great steak, and I would notice how I felt after. Oh my God, I'm not working out as hard the next day, or I don't feel as good, or I didn't get great sleep because of it. And so then I just naturally started to phase it out. And I don't identify as sober, because I always want to give, I have an immense amount of respect for the sober community, and I'm not in active addiction, but I just choose not to drink at this time in my life, especially now that I'm a mom.
When you can see the benefit that you actually getting from not drinking, it really kind of, outweighs everything else.
Yeah.
And you feel like, it's not really worth it. But I do remember that, when I was going through hardship, like through divorce and when it was very, very challenging for me, especially my first divorce. I had friends, offering me drink. I said, I don't want to do that. I'd rather, go through the pain because I know how it can get you. And so I never, drank. I drank, here when I was happy only. I was really kind of the condition that I had put myself. Okay, I'll have a drink if I'm only happy.
That's what I say to myself. Like, if you're celebrating and you feel like it, that it's going to enhance.
Yes.
That's it. You go day by day, minute by minute.